Welcome to our quick video maker's guide using a smartphone. While this is intended for smartphone users, we're sure you'll be able to put this knowledge to good use on dedicated video cameras too. We'll be covering the basics like storyboarding, framing, lighting and equipment. So without further ado, let's get to it. A storyboard is the visual blueprint for your film, and it's a great way to plan your camera angles. Don't worry too much on the details, as long as it makes sense to you, that's all that matters. Chances are your film won't need a script, but if your video needs dialogue, then don't forget to include it in your storyboard. If you're interested in making a documentary, then a 2-column script is your best bet for planning. Like the name suggests, you'll be planning with 2 columns, one for video and one for audio. Unlike a storyboard, this script is purely text-based and prioritizes what you should aim to get, rather than how you get it. Because you'll be putting together your video and audio from different sources, locations and times, this will help make sense of things when you get around to your edit. It's important to have a story or intended conclusion in mind when you plan your shots. If you're going in with an open mind, you should plan it around a subject or theme. Make sure you take your script with you on the shoot day. Tick off the shots you get as you go along and be prepared to make changes. You never know what you might get. Here are some quick tips on how to get well thought out shots for your storyboard and shoot day. The main technique we'll talk about is the rule of thirds. It's a 9-section grid of equal proportions, and in our case it would look something like this. You can use these horizontal and vertical lines to frame up your subject. These lines are where our eyes are naturally drawn to. With them, we can guide our viewers towards what we want them to see. If you look at me, you'll see that we've framed my eyes on the top horizontal line and my body is on the left vertical line. Matching our frames like this can help keep a smooth and natural flow between our shots. It can also give our audience a subtle clue of what to expect next. Another thing worth mentioning is where the lines intersect. These points can also be used to frame your subjects too. For example, we could use 2 points for a shot like this, and use the same 2 points from a different angle like this. A change in distance can help freshen up the audience perspectives and keep things interesting. Try and frame your shots from different distances to visually stimulate your audience. For example, you could use close-ups to evoke a sense of intimacy or uneasiness. Or use wide shots to make your subjects appear distant and isolated. If you want to learn more about the rule of thirds, you'll be able to find lots online about it. Another good exercise is to try and visualize it when watching a TV show or movie. You'll find many creative examples, and these can be a great source of inspiration. You'll want to pick an area where you'll have as much control as possible. Think about the best time to get your footage. For example, when there is less traffic or passers-by if there are any. Make sure you pick a nice quiet area because sound is important and you don't want too many interruptions on your shoot. Be wary of loud traffic, roadworks, alarms, airplanes, etc. The control you have on the outside world will be very limited, so leave plenty of time for your shoot. Too much can overexpose your image, making the shadows very dark and the lighter areas very washed out. Too little may reduce visibility and appear grainy. Try and get a nice balance between the two. Try not to shoot towards your subjects when they have a light source behind them if you don't want them silhouetted. Of course, totally use this if that's what you're going for. Remember to turn your grid on your smartphone and use the rule of thirds to frame up your shots. If you're using a smartphone to record video, be aware that you may have to get fairly up close to your subject because phone lenses are designed to cover wide areas. If you're up in someone's face with your phone, definitely give them some reassurance that it's not as close as they think on screen. Make sure you have enough storage space to keep all your videos. Videos can fill up your phone storage space quite quickly, so you'll want to keep an eye on it while you record. If you have a stand that can keep your phone upright on its own, definitely use it as it will keep your shots nice and steady. Octopus stands like this work well too, which you can find online for around £10. When recording sound, the closer up you can get, the better. And keep your phone still so you don't pick up any bumps or rustling. There aren't many ways to improve the sound quality with standard kit, but there are smartphone accessories such as plug-in microphones and lapel mics, which you'll be able to shop around online for about £15 upwards. Now that you have your video files, it's time to edit. And for that, you'll need editing software. This will be a general guide to consider what options there are. Each program works differently, so we won't be covering how they work, but rest assured there are plenty of tutorials and guides online that cover these areas for each one. Best of all, they are free. If you own an Apple desktop or laptop computer, you'll be able to pick up a free copy of iMovie from the App Store. It's laid out in an intuitive way and should fill most of your editing needs. If you're on Windows or even Mac, then we would recommend Shotcut. Its interface is closer to a more traditional video editing workflow, and there are plenty of starter guides that will have you editing in no time. That's all the bases covered. We hope this video has helped and look forward to seeing your submissions soon.